In this video, I want to give you 3 things to talk about with somebody who you're thinking might be your surrogate. So generally people don't jump right into surrogacy. The intended parents, so that's the parents to be, and the surrogate or the person who might be a surrogate have conversations. It's like dating. You don't jump into something so big. You don't get married on the first date. Same idea. There's this kind of getting to know you and making sure that everyone's on the same page. So I want to go over 3, and there are many others, but 3 big ones, things to talk about when trying to figure out, is this a good match? Do we fit? Is this likely to be a compatible surrogacy journey? So the first one is views on abortion. And while it's awful to think about something negative that might happen, that's the reality. That's part of the role of lawyers in drafting surrogacy agreements, is planning for all possibilities, really, including some that we don't want to have happen. But at least by ensuring everyone's on the same page, it can avoid things from going from bad to worse. For example, if a surrogate and intended parents don't share the same views on abortion, and there's some testing that's done, and it turns out there's some sort of serious genetic abnormality, and maybe the intended parents want to terminate the pregnancy based on the information they've been provided by a physician, and the surrogate says, I can't do that, I won't do that. Now there's this conflict, and that would be really devastating. So views on abortion, really there should be values alignment there, and otherwise it might be that that's just not a good fit. The second one is about money. So in Canada, surrogates cannot be paid, but that's not to say that intended parents aren't reaching into their pockets, because they are. They are reimbursing surrogates. And the biggest piece of that can be around lost income. It is perfectly legal to pay a surrogate back if she's missing time off work due to medical appointments or on bed rest or recovering after the birth. And all of that can really add up. So getting on the same page of what is going to be reimbursed and what does that look like? And it means sharing some pretty private information. Surrogates have to share how much they make, for example, because that all has to be properly documented. Talking about money, even though it's kind of uncomfortable sometimes, has to be addressed from the outset to make sure that the intended parents really know what they're getting into, and surrogates can feel confident that they are not going to be subsidizing the surrogacy and missing out on thousands of dollars of income, that the intended parents really can and will pay them back for their lost income. And then last but not least, the relationship. So the contract, we talk about this a little bit, but some of it's not legal, but it's just as important. And that's, what's the relationship going to look like during the pregnancy and afterwards? So during the pregnancy, are the intended parents coming to every medical appointment? Maybe not. Some of them are really short. Some of them would involve a long commute. Sometimes parents are in different provinces or countries from the surrogate. It might not be possible. So just figuring out, what is the expectation? Will they be on the phone during like a video conference, or be called right afterwards? Will they be, showing up for the big ones, maybe like the ultrasound, the first ultrasound where the baby can really be seen, or where the gender might be revealed? So what are the moments in time where they will show up? And then what will communication be like throughout the pregnancy? Daily chats, weekly, maybe the parties don't want to get that specific at all, but just making sure everyone's on the same page, because that is one place where there can be a conflict. If people don't have the same understanding, there can be a misunderstanding and feelings can be hurt. Surrogates can feel neglected, intended parents can feel left out. So this is a really big one. And then the relationship after the birth as well. Of course, it is speculation. People don't really know how they're going to feel until they're there. But to the extent it can be discussed, that can be helpful. Some people just want to go their separate ways. Others want to stay in touch. They view the surrogate like part of their family who's done this amazing thing, and they want her to be around, and vice versa. So getting on the same page about that to make sure that there's an alignment. Otherwise, somebody may end up very, very hurt and disappointed, and surrogacy is not supposed to involve anyone being hurt or disappointed. It is supposed to be a very positive experience. So that's it in a nutshell. 3 big things to talk about are views on abortion, what reimbursements will be covered, and income and all those considerations, and expectations around relationship during and after the pregnancy. So that's it for this video. I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one.